Hello to everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today with us is my colleague Christophe from PCES. My name is Laura Tanaskovic, project manager in PCES. So we are here to present something interesting about the chatbots, how they serve the financial inclusion. Christophe will tell you more about this because he's a long experienced expert in this field, more exactly in the digital finance sector. He has more than 20 years of experience. So Christophe, the floor is yours. I will share the presentation. If you need anything, just let me know to change the slide or something.
Sure, thank you, Laura. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for coming to listen to our presentation about chatbots. Laura, we cannot see the presentation. Okay, good. So the idea is during the next 20 minutes to just present you what kind of product is a chatbot and how it can help financial institutions to increase their reach to the client and therefore to increase financial inclusion. So chatbots, as you can see in the next slide, it's a product that is very relevant because the digital use of financial services have really reached quite a significant level in the past years. And the usage of mobile devices for performing operation is quite high, and it's remaining. It's constantly increasing, and you can see how of this user of internet, like a very big chunk of this user are using social media. And this social media includes several type of applications, but one type of application which have really made a big difference in the past couple of years are the instant messaging type of social media application, commonly WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook Messenger. And these have become really something that in terms of usage is not something that a financial institution can look over. Prior, there was really like very simple way for doing this mobile type of transaction. It was, okay, USSD. I've started SMS banking even in the very beginning, then USSD, and now one of the innovation which is really taking over this technology is chatbots, using these already existing applications in order to transact. As you can see here, at the moment, 30% of the internet users are using internet for financial services. So there is still a lot of room for all these users to make them getting used to perform banking services through mobile or through internet. So with this said, like what are the advantages of chatbots? In the next slide, you can see that chatbots is a very effective self-service channels where you can really deliver a lot of different financial services, and you really have a very intuitive user experience. If all of you, I guess, have tried already USSD with this long code and the star and hash and so on. It can be quite cumbersome to use. Sometimes you have to wait for the message to come back, although there is a lot of limitations on how this technology can work. and you have like another way of doing this mobile type of connection is mobile app. But for those of you who have the experience of implementing this mobile app, it can be quite a headache. You have to maintain the versions. You have to make sure that your application is working for the different version of Android, the different version of iOS. So it requires really a constant attention and a constant deployment of new solutions in order to feed the advancement of the different devices. And in the same time, it's not something that you can easily modify and where you can easily implement products. That is not the case for chatbots, and that's why it's interesting for financial inclusion. First, because it's very the interaction with the customers are based on dialogue. So we will see later on other slides like how this dialogue are organized in case you don't know the product. But that makes it much easier for non-tech savvy people to interact with the bank, because it's not always easy for older people or people who are not too proficient with phone to use an application which have been specifically developed by the bank, usually with a very specific way of interacting with it. However, now it is very clear that WhatsApp and Telegram and all the chat platforms have become prevalent for everybody to communicate, even with and especially with older parents, for example, or people who may not be as familiar with using mobile app. They are not familiar with mobile app, but they became familiar with WhatsApp, because that's a very good way to communicate with their entourage. And therefore, the fact that they already know this, that makes the barrier of entry for starting using the product much lower. And the fact that these are very dialogue based means that it's not usually a jargon or anything. It's really something which is a natural flow for the customers to interact. Another very interesting point for the chatbots is real-time customer support. So it's very easy when you are discussing with a chatbot to switch from a bot, means that automated response, which will reply based on certain patterns with the clients, and to switch to having a discussion with somebody from the customer service. So this makes it very seamless for the clients who have an issue to just contact a customer support person and be able to be supported directly, compared to with an app or with USSD, where you need to exit the actual interaction that you have and then switch back and forth when you are discussing with the customer support about, yeah, okay, what should I do there, and so on. Here it's really fully integrated, so it makes it much easier to support the clients live. It's also very easy to engage clients. The only thing that you need for to reach and engage a client, because the only thing that you need is their mobile phone registered in their in your database, and then you will be able to recognize this client, and you will be able to proactively contact him for specific offers, for example, or for a contextual thing, like when he's using a specific product, you will really be able to offer him like additional products that for you in your business model are connected to what you have. Another point that I was starting to speak a bit before, it's a fast product implementation. So obviously, chatbots always is compared with other type of connection via mobile. So, and the other two main channels to communicate via mobile with the customers are a mobile app or a USSD. And both of them have issues in their implementation, which makes that this kind of products can be complicated to implement. For USSD, for example, you need to have a discussion with the mobile providers and so on. If you are lucky in your countries, there is some kind of centralized services where you can access all the provider at once. But in a lot of cases, it is not existing. So you have to negotiate with every single mobile provider in order to be able to perform USSD. And for the mobile app, as I was saying before, it requires quite some time for development, and it requires also much more work in terms of maintenance. That's not the case with Chatbot. Chatbots is a direct interaction with tools like WhatsApp or Telegram, and therefore it can be immediately implemented without needing specific connection. On your side, you just need an internet connection. You just need to open the account on the mobile platform, and then you can already start providing services to your customers. Obviously, there is always the connection with the core banking system, which needs to be taken in consideration. However, you reach much faster implementation time with this kind of product. And not only the channel itself is faster to implement, but also the product that you want to put inside the channel itself are much faster to implement, as we will see in the case afterwards. Even some clients are using this now as a test platform to try some products because of the easiness of just implementing this kind of workflow inside it. It is really a question of days for implementing a new product. Another good point is that now all these platforms have secured digital payments integrated within the platforms that are using also the security for use from the phones. So this is also very convenient because, again, this is not something that you need to develop on your own, which can be quite complicated for payment platforms specifically. And therefore, the fact that you have all this already integrated in an application which is managed and maintained by the provider of this application themselves. So Facebook Messenger is maintained by Facebook. The version update and so on are all managed by them. So you don't need to worry about any of this. Whatever new version is coming, your products will continue to be available with seamlessly for your customers. So that's kind of why it's interesting for financial inclusion. But there is another aspect here. We are speaking only about the aspect towards the clients, but what chatbots can be used also very easily for internal purposes. In the next slide, different type of operation you can have. Here also you can see a screen of how this kind of interaction are looking like if you've never seen it. So as you can see, you can really have a very nice verbose dialogue with your customer, and it can very much be adapted to how the discussion is going, and you can really have like different paths that you are setting up yourself in order to answer all the different possibilities that are in this product. So here you can see, like, I have separated the type of usage in two parts: the client operation, so the usual suspects, account inquiry, transfers, loan operation, bill payments. All these operations can easily be handled with the chatbots. But what I think is very interesting is that you can really use it for internal processes. So we all have seen or faced a project of trying to get the loan officer or some other officers to have access to specific functionality when they are on the field in order to be able to support the client. And that's where the financial inclusion is also coming, because one of the issues with chatbots is the fact that you need a smartphone. So this is less and less of a problem. Now there is more and more of this Chinese device, which are very low price and which are really spreading very fast. And therefore, the number of people having a smartphone versus the number of people having just a phone is almost similar. But what you can do for financial inclusion is not only do this with a client device, but you can yourself provide device to your staff, and for when they are going on the field, then they can use this application, this bot that you have made available on one of the different platforms. And you can start having operations which are based on the user that is logged in, and that will allow to do some specific banking operation, and for example, customer onboarding or loan assessment. So we, especially for these two elements, that is something that have been done quite a lot with tablets and application and so on. And what is happening is that in practice, it is very difficult to maintain this fleet of devices, and to make sure that the officers are really using them. I've seen countless times tablets in a safe in some branches, but never used because the loan officers, they don't feel comfortable with carrying this around. It can make the clients even a bit not so attended when you are looking at the tablet rather than speaking with the clients. And again, like this maintenance is very difficult. It's really a nightmare. Here you don't need all this. It's very easy to modify the process that you have within the chatbots, and it's very easy to just use the phone that you have provided to your agents, that they will for sure take with them, because it will be used by them for more than just that. It will be a phone that will be used for all their professional endeavor, and therefore they will have. Can you go back to the previous slide, Laura, please? Yeah, and therefore they will always have it with them because it's a phone, so they are much more used to have this around. And it's much easier to carry. It's much more practical because you can do many other things with it. So you're really gaining in this sense. Now, another point is for your agents in your agency banking. So there is many ways to connect your agents and allow them to perform transactions. And in a lot of these cases, this can be very costly. It can be with a card, or it can be with a POS. It can be with a specific application on a computer and so on, but then you're really dependent on the equipment that the agent have. Now, if you can just either use their own phone or provide them with a cheap phone in order to be able to perform the operation, that's reduced significantly the costs that you have with them performing their operation. And comparing with like connecting them with USSD, here with WhatsApp, with chatbot banking, you can really have pictures, location, and so on. So it's really like combining all the advantages of the app, but with the practicalities that you find in USSD. So it's kind of a mix of both with like the best of both worlds. So it's very interesting for these internal processes because that will really allow you to scale very fast and for a very limited cost the operation you do on the field. So now on the next slide, sorry. What are the benefits for this product? So it's quite significant. Sorry, just give me a second. Small problem with my glasses. Okay, so what, as I say, now it's a bit like what I was going through the different sites. So one of the first points is that really you increase your reach of the customer and its engagement when they are interacting with you by having lots of different paths. different way you can organize this interaction with the customer, and the fact that you can even combine this with real client advisors, that's really like provide you a very big way to reach your customers. Availability, obviously, this is compared to your branch, available all the time, can work fully automated. And therefore, that's also a very, very interesting point at this for this. Automation of back office operation. As I was speaking before, you're gaining a lot of efficiency, allowing you to really have on the field activities and automate some operation directly with the mobile. So you may even not need for people who are doing simple operations, them to have a computer. There is really no real limit on how you can do this kind of thing. So for example, if you want a coordinator to be able to validate operation from your cash box, so you can easily have this with an information which is coming to the coordinator on his phone to validate directly the operation. So it really allows you to have an easy, small access to an app without, again, no maintenance need. And again, the cost effectiveness is quite high because of this fast implementation, and also the fact that the device, you either don't need to take care of them by yourself, or even if you take care of them, they are less expensive than most of the other existing device for this kind of connection. So that's give you a rough idea of, obviously the time was very limited, so we can speak about this product for quite a while. But now I will quickly tell you about a case study we had in Central Africa, where we actually started. It was even us discussing with our clients and telling them, oh, look, okay, we have seen that there is this chatbot type of way of doing banking, and we think that it can be interesting for you. And the bank was going, but like just, okay, let's add a channel, it may be interesting, but they were not having too much, they were much more focused on their mobile app, which was for them much more important. So what happened is that we started very small, which is usually like what I would advise when you are implementing a new channel, by going by complexifying the services as it goes along. And we started with balance inquiry. That was working very fine. So very quickly, we added the payment services in order to allow clients to perform more operation. And then really the pickup by the clients was very fast. It very quickly overtook the number of transactions performed on the mobile app. And that's really that's really like picked up with the client very quickly without needing so much of advertising and marketing, because the here to mouse was really working very nicely, because people were feeling very enticed by this way of interacting with the bank. So quickly we came to discussing, as I was saying before, about, okay, then if we have this, then why we don't start using this for offline or let's say on the field operation. And therefore we implemented the loan application. So the loan officer can go on the field and register a loan application for a specific client. And the fact that the bot is interacting with the core banking system, that means that it also can retrieve information about the clients, about this previous lending, and so on. So it's very easy for the agent when he's on, agent for your staff when they are on the field, because they can really retrieve information in a very quick way. And the difference is that also an application, if some of you have implemented it, you may have faced this kind of issue. It's often like if a transaction is not happening, then it can hang and it become complicated. You have like to close the application and so on in order to restart it. So we all have faced this, not only as a service provider providing the service, but also as users. It's happened quite often that the application are not functioning and you need to do something and so on. And this is not happening with Chatbot, because it is it's called asynchronous. So when the client is sending, then and you see this when you are using this type of application, because when you're sending a message, that first there is I'm speaking for WhatsApp that I'm using personally. When you first send the message, then one check is there, and when the person on the other side have received it, then there is a second check. So that means that even if you're sending your message while you are connected, and then you are waiting, then the other side cannot answer immediately, then it will still work, right? It will still continue the process of discussion. And this is the same with a chatbot. One of the issues that USSD have is that you have a certain time to perform the whole process that you are doing. And here, this time can be extended. Actually, it can be defined fully by you. So you are in control of this. So you can do processes which are much longer and which involve many more steps. So loan application, for example, with USSD will not be possible because it's too much information and it takes too much time. But here, with having this asynchronous way of working with the application, it makes it much more resilient and much more solid in its functioning. And finally, we went for client onboarding. So the biggest part that we've put so far, where staff can go for specific events, or can go at specific place to onboard clients. This was part of a big project of onboarding 1 million clients. And that was really the best way to reach your customer, by going directly to them and say, okay, from here we can register you and provide you with a bank account. And it can that solves the KYC issue, because you can take the picture of the customer, you can take a picture of its ID, and if the customer even have a device, he can also do this all by himself. Right, so you now having a platform very easy in the pocket of all of your customers, where they can register to your bank on a whim. And how it's end up is now these chatbots are very central to this institution, and they use it, as I was saying before, for product testing. So when they have a new idea about a product, then they just test first on chatbot, how is it working, how the customer reacts, so they can adapt it, and then they can launch it in the branches and so on, where it requires much more operational organization in order to make it happen, compared to what is required on the chatbot, where it's really, as I said, a couple of days, and then you can be live with a new type of product. Also, in terms of marketing, you have really easy access to all your customer, and it's not as pervasive or like as annoying to the customer than a phone call will be, for example. Because when you receive a message, okay, it's just doing this ding on your phone. You know you have a message, but you know you can check it whenever you want. So this is really a much less invasive way to contact your clients and provide them with like marketing messages without them feeling too much overwhelmed by like calls and so on. Customer support, again, much easier for clients to just contact your chatbot support and then discuss directly with the first, identify one of the issues which can be automated, and if not, discuss with one of your customer support. With your customer support not having to be as occupied in the sense like when you're on the phone, you cannot really handle much else, right? Because you need to be fully focused on that. But when you are handling message, which again are asynchronous, it's easy to either handle 2 customers at the same time, or to go and do some research in some other software on something if it's needed. So it's really much more practical, much less costly because you need less support people because part of the part is automated, and it's much easier for them to do their job because of this synchronous nature. And finally, for internal processes, as I hope I try to show you in this short time, there is really countless possibility of what you can do with this product due to its flexibility, its easiness to modify. You can really have a very practical tool for your agents which are on the field, agents or staff which are on the field, in order to allow them to perform operations. So yeah, the client is very happy. And they are really, this will become more and more a central element in their digital strategy in the future. So this is our chatbot. So we were speaking today about chatbot in general, but we also have our own product that we developed specifically for our clients. Because we, as I said, immediately seen a big potential in this technology, and therefore we have really spent quite some time developing this product. Not only that you can provide services, but as I said, that you really can use this as a nice tool for your internal processes. And now I will let my colleague Laura, she will speak to you about PCES in general and what the company is doing. Hope we are not too late.
Okay, we don't have much time, so I would just briefly present who is the company behind this chatbot product and how we help for your financial services to be delivered easily. So we are IT consulting and software engineering company founded by very experienced experts with decades of experience and very deep knowledge in this field. So they all were on the leading management position before this company was founded. So they are IT experts in digital finance. And our mission here is to optimize complex business processes, facilitate the financial services distribution, and build customers' relationship with fast delivery of our solutions. So we offer, sorry for this, we offer variety of products you can see here. But also I will share with you the link from our website if you want to read something more, because we don't have much time. I will just briefly present what their goal is. So with our digital solutions, we want to facilitate the financial services to automate the processes, sorry. And we have loan origination. It's an application for digitalizing the whole loan process. Chatbot, which Christophe already mentioned, and it's very attractive these days. So you can read more about our chatbot, and also you can contact us afterwards because I see that there's so much questions, but we don't have time to answer all of these questions. I hope that Christophe explained almost everything, but if you have something more to ask, just feel free to contact us. I will share the contact. Other products, interesting products, is this e-commerce platform, which seems like a marketplace, and it's also very attractive these days. Agency banking, Christophe already mentioned something about this module of branchless banking, and so on. I don't want to take so much time. So beside these software solutions, we have also IT consulting experts. We don't only just implement the solution. In the same time, we offer consulting services as a support and to implement all of this solution easily, but it's also divided. We offer a variety of services, which you can see here on this slide. It's IT audit, due diligence, digital strategy, project management, IT and software development organization, software architecture, and digital technology integration. So I would just like to introduce our project experience. We have development projects in our background and IT consulting projects. So for the development project, it's interesting that we have made tailor-made solution for process management. The medical sector we covered with the web application for managing the process of sterilization and waste of medical equipment, and also we had implementation of middleware and payment platform in one of the major financial institutions in Congo, and all together with consulting services and full support and training. Also, we have many consulting projects in Ghana, Mexico, Palestine, Germany, Kyrgyzstan, and so on. The very recent project in Ghana, it's about digital strategy for agency banking. In Mexico, we had a project for selection of a software solution for agricultural loan analysis. In Palestine, we designed and project management of software for risk-based premium calculation and payout system. In Kyrgyzstan, we had a selection and project management of a new core banking system. Then in Kenya, project for analysis of digital situation and creation of a digital strategy. Mali and Benin also with a digital strategy and conception and implementation of that strategy. Ivory Coast and so on. So we have a very broad project experience. We have offices in Skopje and Accra. And thank you all. I hope that we didn't pass over very much the time. Now I will end my presentation just to share with you in the chat the contacts. Meantime, if we have time, I don't know, we can answer some of your questions. Sorry, I lost myself in this sharing screen. Again, thank you all for joining us. Here is our website. And you can find here more info about us, about the chatbot. Christophe, I think that we can take into consideration these all questions, and maybe just we will add some notes in the presentation to answer these questions to you. Okay, I don't know if Christophe is still with us. But as I said, because I have so much question, thank you all. We will answer you for sure. Don't worry. And thank you. Have a good day and the rest of the conference. Bye.